Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily and I've been a portrait artist now for 7 years. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you all of my studio essentials. So before we get started, I just want to say that this is one of my very first videos on YouTube, especially sitting down and talking. So please just bear with me. I want to give you a little bit of a background of who I am and what I do. And some of you may already know me as EPART on TikTok and Instagram. I am a portrait artist. I paint family, children, pets, all portraits that you can think of. You can see that I have one in the background here at the moment and then another one over here. So yeah, let's get into this video. Starting off strong, we have the palette, and this is my palette. As you can see, it is fairly self-made. This isn't a traditional palette that you can get. Like I said, I'm completely self-taught. This is something that works for me. You can go down the traditional route of having a normal palette, but this is just something that I made. It works for me. I'm able to stick it to my canvas. So as you can see, the background of the palette is a very light tone. I do this because it makes it a lot easier to see the tones in the portrait colours. So I think this has to be probably one of the best inventions that I've figured out myself in the studio. I will link it up here with each step how to create this. It's very lightweight, so when you stick it to your canvas, it should not fall. I've never ever had it fall off of the canvas, so always go for quite a thin but thick enough so that it's sturdy, but lightweight so that it still sticks to your canvas. So one thing I love about this palette is once your paints are dried, it is super easy to just scrape them off. I use this little scalpel that I've had. It's fairly blunt now, but what I would do is I would just go in like this and it completely gets the paint off. So next up we have paints, and I'm an oil painter, so these are oil paints. The oil paints that I use are Michael Hardin, and they have to be one of the best oil paints I have ever used, especially for portrait paintings. So for me, my oil paints were something that were crucial. I tried Winsor & Newton, which I do sometimes use a few of their colours mixed in with these, but you just can't beat Michael Hardin. They're so thick and consistent, and you just don't really get that with any other oil paints that I've tried anyway. So these are the colours that I use that I find work best for me with portrait painting. So what I found over the years is I get through a lot of white paint. So I like to pick up one of the 225ml titanium white. I find that this will last me around 3 months, whereas a lot of the others will only last a month. Burnt umber is one of them. This will last me around a month, depending on how big the paintings are that I'm working on. I found this not that long ago, probably about 3 months ago. And ever since I've been mixing it into my pigments, I've found that my portraits are looking more creamy and saturated, and just holding the pigments a lot more than sinking into the canvas, if that makes sense. And that is Rose Blush. I absolutely love this paint. I use this a lot. I probably have got through about 3 tubes of this already. So yeah, that is the paints I use. So alongside my palette and my paints is my solvent that I use. I actually have a little dog in the studio, so I can't use turpentine or white spirit. So with that being said, one of the best dilutants that I've found is Zest It. Like I said guys, this is not sponsored, this is just things that I found over the years that really do work for me. So I like to put this in a little pot next to my easel alongside my palette, and it just keeps my brushes clean throughout the process of portrait painting. So I actually break this up into 2 things. I put it in a little spray pot, which keeps my palette clean, and I also, if I need to clean anything off my desk, I'll use it for that too. And I also spray it into the little pot just to, I don't know, make life a little bit easier. But this spirit is definitely great if you have any animals in your painting, because it is non-toxic to them. So next up is canvases. So I like to use a linen canvas, especially for detailed portrait paintings. I find that they're a lot finer and you can get a lot more detail into the painting. But you can use cotton, it just depends what you prefer to paint on. So one thing you have to do is you need to prime your canvas with a non-absorbent acrylic primer. I always give my canvases around 3 coats of this, and then I go in with my light washes to just fully base the canvas before painting on it. I find that doing this, you get a better outcome with your portraits. It doesn't sink into the canvas as much and create like a dull effect. You get a more saturated, buttery sort of look to your paintings. This is actually empty because I get through so many of these. And then with the light washes, I like to go in again with my dilutant and mix titanium white and a tiny bit of burnt umber, but still keeping the canvas a bright white sort of tone. So I do this over the course of about 3 days. I'll leave the non-absorbent acrylic primer to dry one day, go over it again the next, and then I'll go in with my light washes over the course of like another 2 days. Once it's all dry, sanded down, I'll then go in with my grid, which I will make another video about because it has been highly requested from you guys. So this is a question that I get asked a lot. What brushes do I use? Why do I use them? And why are they so small? So I am not like a typical artist. I don't have hundreds and hundreds of different size paintbrushes. I just order the ones that I need and I sort of alternate between them. I do have a few older brushes, but I find that most of the time I just use the really little fine brushes because of all the little detail that I do. I do have some bigger ones which are more chunkier that I use for blending and my blurred backgrounds that I do. I find that using these, they really do help soften the blur and create that nice depth of the painting. So I will say that this brush here is the same brush that I use for my acrylic primer, but I will also use this for varnishing. So the reason I use such tiny brushes is purely because I like to get all the little details in. Because I'm someone who paints very by the box and not in layers, this gives me a lot more control with it. Another thing would be I don't keep loads of paintbrushes purely because they do dry out. If I'm working on something and say for instance I finish late and head out of the studio, they will dry up the next day. So I feel like the question I'm going to get asked is, do I mix my paints with anything? And the answer is no. I don't use any linseed oil or anything like that because I feel like the drying time is just way too long for me. I like to just get my paintings dry as quick as possible and get them varnished and sent out to my lovely clients. So guys, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please put them down below and I will be sure to answer them.